Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. I want to start off with the Carly and Josh scene because, in a lot of ways, I felt like they dropped the ball. I truly do feel like they dropped the ball. This writing with this whole, Michael wants to get revenge on Sonny because of blah, 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 and Carly's there saying all the reasons why Sonny can't go to jail, and the fact that he's totally ignoring them just really it just hits home on how broken the writing is, because now we're getting to a point where this is just like it's almost like it breaks the fourth wall on just how stupid it is. And I bring that conversation up because today I felt like a very similar conversation should have happened between Carly and Joss. Carly should have told Joss all the reasons of why Sonny going to jail would be bad for the family. By the way, was Joss actually in that whole gunfire thing when that happened? Because I'm wondering about that because I know Michael was. So I'm wondering if Sonny, I'm wondering if Joss was. Point is, she didn't have that conversation. And this is one of those things where it's like, this is the reason why Joss gets so much hate. She gets so much hate because she comes across as very naive, selfish, and just very insufferable. The entire time, she's just sitting there talking about what she wants. She wants this. She wants that. Da 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 da. Very entitled, right? And I don't use that word often with her, but this is definitely one of those things where it's like she lets her mouth get the best of her. And she brings up Morgan, right? Something where she clearly crossed the line, and she knew she crossed the line because she immediately apologized afterwards. But it just shows you just how stupid and entitled that this chick is. And the fact that I felt like Carly really didn't lay down the hammer, as opposed to Smith there trying to talk to her through her trauma of, oh, well, I understand where you're coming from because this, that, and third. I'm like, you laid in on Michael, right? Why the hell did you not do that on Joss? That's the part that just really pisses me off. She didn't really lay in on her. And that's not just saying she had to like totally disrespect her, but be honest, be real with her, just like you did with Michael. You always sit there and talk about how she's a mini version of you. Okay, then be honest with her. Be real with her. Because right now, all the crying and the insipid crying in the very teenager ways of, I want this and I want that. You need to sit there and lay the smack down on her and be honest with her. That's the thing that really pissed me off about that whole scene. And in the end, Carly just walked away and was like, you know what? I'll handle this. And she also broke the evidence. She also broke it too, which I'm just like, boo, you should have did that the first time. You shouldn't even have Michael walked away. You should have just broke that the first time, just been done with it. But that didn't happen. And so then Josh is standing there looking stupid, like usual. So you got that going on. You got Olivia and Ned celebrating that Olivia believed him. And I'm just like, why are you so happy that she finally believed you? Instead of calling her disloyal for not believing her in the first place. It only happened when Sonny practically threatened his life. We were just like, oh, I don't think you did it. And right then and there, it just, they're celebrating or whatever. And Nina walks over and Nina's asking, like, when she finds out what they're celebrating, she's like, well, what made you thought, like, what changed your mind about the whole thing? And of course, Olivia says something sappy that I just clearly start looking at my phone about. But at some point, she talks to Martin, and Martin tells her, "We got problems." She's like, "They're leaning on him to give up the anonymous source," and she says that because now Sonny's in the mix. And the general attorney general, whatever, is like, if this was just a regular FCC case, maybe, but now that you got Sonny in the mix, they're leaning. And of course, now Nina's like, "Oh, well, if I knew that, I would have been anonymous, I wouldn't have actually done it." It was like, yeah, of course that, Nina, but it was too late because now not only did your revenge is going to backfire, you're going to be outed, but now the person who you want to spend the rest of your life with is going to go to jail. And why? Because you couldn't handle your emotions like a grown adult and decide to lash out like some teenage girl. No, to be fair, there are a lot of teenage girls that are very mature. So I'm not there saying that to all teenage women, but you decided to act like a damn child instead of just dealing with it like an adult. And now you're in this circle of BS that you caused. And she has that, once again, she has that stupid look on her face. And it's laughable in a lot of ways. So I definitely did enjoy that part. I did enjoy that part. Um, Zeke and Jordan, they do their love in the afternoon, their Skinamax. But then afterwards, Zeke got a meeting with Drew. Drew, this ain't really making a lot of sense to me. Okay? This is not making a lot of sense to me. He literally tells Zeke, his lawyer, which I still think that Zeke is up to something. I can't believe he's just a nice attorney. That he wants to turn himself in. And Zeke just looks at him like, Zeke had that same look that I did. What are you doing? What the hell is the matter with you? And Drew's like, "Oh, well, it's breaking up families, and I don't want her to be away from her child." And Zeke was like, "Don't you have a daughter?" He's like, "Yeah, I did, but when I came back," and then see, this is the part where the writing, once again, it just goes to hell. It just goes to the dumpsters at that point because it's like, okay, I understand that you don't want Carly you don't want her kids to grow out without her, right? But why would you want your daughter to grow up without her father? This is what's just not making any sense. You want to throw yourself at the sword. You want to throw yourself in a sword, the sacrifice for her family, but you have a family as well. I mean, maybe you may not care about the rest of the quartermains or whatever, but your own daughter who's missed out on so much time from you, and you decide you want to just go right, like, what? I mean, it's just stupid. Now he does sit there and say that he has an ace in the hole or ace in the sleeve or whatever, but I'm just like, bro, you're not making any sense whatsoever. Um, so you got that going on. Valentine's sitting there trying to ask Marty and what's going on with Anna, and finally, talk to Sunny and realize that listen, she'll reach out when she's ready. The Pikeman deal is somewhat going through, and Sonny's like, all right, fine, but nothing is going to be, because he finds out through Dex or whatever that Pikeman is ready to do another deal. And of course, Sonny's like, well, they didn't give me the information that I wanted, and yet they're racing it, they're thinking that we're still in business. Again, you deal with bad people. See, again, I love Sonny, but I'm like, bro, you deal with bad people, this is what is going to wind up happening. So, I don't, what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it's like, I don't feel bad that somebody took a shot at him. Because I'm like, this is the world that you chose. I mean, come on, dude. It's not like you haven't been shot before, but still. Um, but yeah, Valentine, is talking to Sunny, and Sunny sits there and kind of lays it down as far as this is how Anna deals with what she deals with. So at this point, Sunny's just like, well, just keep the faith. They talk about the marriage between Nina and him, and they kind of smile at each other and say, be good to her, which is actually pretty interesting because when they first started off, oof, Sunny couldn't stand that man, could not stand him. But I guess seeing how he doesn't really like Nicholas, and Nicholas, did get shot by him, it's like, what else? Time has passed between, I know it had something to do with Spencer also, because Spencer was going to get kidnapped by Valentine at one point, to which I have no idea what he was going to do. But yeah, like I said, they've definitely come a very long way. And Liz got promoted. She got promoted to head nurse because, I mean, at this point, why not? I mean, she broke a bunch of laws. She practically aided and abetting as far as kidnapping Esme, but she got promoted to head nurse. So okay, sure, why not? And I have no idea when did this, which by the way is completely stupid, and if people can tell I'm being completely sarcastic about that because I think it's just asinine that this woman actually committed a bunch of crimes and yet she still got to be a head nurse. Um, and I'm also sitting there thinking, since when did Portia and Liz become best friends? Because, Portia was like, hey, I want to then go out and I want to then take my bestie with me. And I was like, bestie, since when? when, when did that happen? When did y'all two become besties? Um, anyway, they decided to go out. Finn is still thinking about Liz because, apparently they're going to put those two back together. And Jordan finds out that Zeke is Portia's brother. So that's a whole mess. That's a whole mess. Can't wait to unpack that one. Oh, and Dex came back and Josh cried on his shoulders because she couldn't get her way. And just to be honest, the thing that also really bothers me about this whole Jocelyn Carly scene is that she grew up around a life, right? And it seemed like all this whining and crying just came from the fact that they're not together anymore. And yeah, listen, it sucks. Um, Carly got hurt by what Sonny did, and I understand that to an extent. But I'm like, boo, you way too old to be acting like this. If you're 12 or 10 or something like that, I can understand this level of a tantrum, of a tantrum. But you're old enough to realize that adults fight, they break up, they have divorces, they hurt each other, you know, and all she's sitting there thinking about is her broken heart that happened over a divorce. I'm like, what, listen, she's with Drew. This isn't the first time that they've broken up and got back together. Hell, you're the result of that. So why is she acting so damn naive now? It's so. It's just. There's a reason why she gets as much smoke as she does. Um, and I haven't actually had to go off on Jocelyn in a very, very, very long time. Well, not to this extent. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't really think of anything else that wound up happening. But as I always sit there and say, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about it. We're going to sit there and go in on all of it. And I mean all the shows as well. Days, Y&R, B&B, and GH. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.